I want to share with you a concept that I have already spoken about in the past, but the more and more becomes, as I learned, revealed. A lot of it was inspired by Rav Dinovich, and that's the concept of the Jewish warrior, meaning that we have a tendency to look at the Jew as, almost, I would say, nothing against, not to offend the Christians, but as a Jesus, very peaceful, very loving, very, the Jew put his head down and he looks down, that's the Jew of exile. That's not the Jew of that we're meant to be, the role model, the light into the nation. A real Jew is someone who is strong. And if we look throughout Jewish history, who were the real leaders of the Jewish people? They were all warriors. Abraham, the first real Jew, he was ready to fight against the king of the world, of the known world then, Nimrod, who is as strong as Nimrod, right? So Abraham was the first who stood up against the entire world, against Nimrod's, power and control over the world. And Abraham was the founder of Judaism, right? The next one, and not only that, we saw that after he was fighting, there was the war of Abraham, the 4 kings against the 5 kings, and he was ready to go to save Lot and to fight for Sodom and all that. So we see that Abraham was a big warrior. It was not just like, that spiritual meditation type of Buddha, figure. No, there is this aspect of being very peaceful and meditation and loving, all that, yes, but you gotta destroy evil. If someone comes to kill you, you kill him first. You always ask for peace first. But if someone doesn't want peace and come to kill you, you kill him. You don't hesitate, right? That's the Jewish philosophy, and that's I think the biggest mistake that Christianity has brought in the world. The biggest concept is that if someone hit you on one cheek, show the other cheek. Yeah, really? Do you let yourself being abused? No, that's not how it works. If someone is about to hit you, you don't even let him hit your first cheek. You beat him up first. So, and we even if we look at Judaism today, right? Speaking about the army, it's called the Israeli Defense Force. It's about defense. Well, yeah, we have to defend ourselves, that's for sure. But Judaism is not about defense. Judaism is about destroying evil. And that's for everyone. Everyone is happy when this evil is destroyed. I mean, look at all the movies, right? Every movie is a good and the bad, and the bad and the good who destroys evil, right? And we all feel good inside at the end of the movie, right? Because that's like humanity. That's human feelings, natural human feelings. So no more, inappropriate mercy. We have to be merciful. But if mercy is too big and too inappropriate, it becomes, the Torah, our sages say, you become cruel then, because you allow evil to live because you have pity, or you're too merciful, and that then destroy you and others. So no room for inappropriate or extreme mercy. That's unhealthy for the world. It's not healthy. Then who was the second greatest leader? Moshe Rabbeinu, right? Moses, the one who was fighting for his people, the one who was ready to stand up to Pharaoh. Pharaoh was the biggest. Nobody was ever heard about someone standing against Pharaoh, because he was looked as a god. He was looked as that superpower. He was the second Nimrod, so to speak. He's the one who was leading the world, and it was the most advanced in black magic and all powers, and right. He was surrounded by all the biggest, sorcerers and witches and all the thing at the time, and nobody will get the guts to do that. We knew that with Shifra and Pua, that they told the Jewish women to report their babies. Why did Shifra and Pua didn't report their babies? Because the babies of the Jewish people, right, to kill them, because they had the guts to stand up against Pharaoh. But why did they trust them? They trust them because nobody will think to lie to Pharaoh about those things. right? So that we have to understand. Even before Moshe, we have to say that Shifra and Pua, right, Yocheved and Miriam were the greatest warriors, so to speak. They were not afraid of Paro. But Moshe was the man that came out of that thanks to those women. We know always, Avram became Avram thanks to Sarah, and Moshe thanks to the women. At the end, it's all thanks to the women. The women are the true warriors, by the way, the true fighters, the ones who are not afraid. They'll kill you to save their kids. And by the way, that's why we say Eshes Chai. When people turn out the woman of valor, every Friday night we sing that song, Eshet Chayil. Eshet Chayil is a woman soldier. The woman who fights for what's right? And the woman is the true protector in a couple, right? The woman goes around the husband under the chuppah. The woman represents the house, the physical structure that protects the husband and the kids. So we understand that, even though I'm speaking about the man a lot, it's all thanks to the woman behind it. It's just her, it's more concealed, but eventually we'll see at the end of time that all the women will have their true place. It says, Ateret Bala, that the woman is the crown of her husband. A husband is only crowned thanks to the woman who is his crown. She makes him king. So behind every man, let's remember, only a woman, and any strong, powerful man is because the woman that he has, the wife he has, is that powerful woman, fighter for good. And by the way, the Arizal says that at the end of time, what's going to be at the end of time? It says there are a lot of people who study Kabbalah and say, oh yeah, but it appears that Moshiach should be a woman. And what is that? Because the female power that is supposed to rise up, which represents this world, and that female power is going to be the wife of Moshiach, meaning Moshiach is only going to be Moshiach thanks to his wife, right? That's actually one of the things we heard about Rabbi Akiva, who said, everything I have is thanks to my wife, Rachel, and same thing with the Lubavitcher Rebbe, that, after he died, he said, you don't understand, everything that I am, my chaya and yechida, my parts of my soul, the highest part of my soul, and whatever I was able to accomplish, it was only thanks to her. But almost nobody saw her. She was always a very concealed woman, very humble. But okay, right? That's really why a real man is able to understand that everything comes thanks to his woman, thanks to his wife. She's the shield of the house. So we're speaking of a man and woman warrior. Moshiach and his wife are going to be the perfect couple, the perfect warrior couple who are going to fight evil. And they show us what a true couple is. Yes, so that's what about Moshiach. Now, so we say Avram, Moshe. Now, the student of Moshe, Yehoshua, and the Levim, right? Moshe was a Levi. We know they were very big warriors also. They were the leaders. And that's why Levim got, and the Kohanim got that position, because they were not afraid because the Kohanim come originally from the Levim. They were not afraid to fight for their people. If you fight for your people, you become a real leader and a real Jew and a fighter of, right. So that's what the real Jew is. Then the third one, really, the third biggest big one is David HaMelech. David HaMelech was fighting his whole life, even against his own kids and all that. There's no greater warrior than David HaMelech, and he's the king of Israel. He's the king of Israel. He's not the peaceful king, so to speak. He's peaceful because he wanted peace, but he was fighting evil very actively to keep the peace. Now, if you take those three greatest warriors, Avram, Moshe, and David, three biggest figure known and real warriors, it's Avram, you have Aleph, Moshe is Mem, and David is Dalet. The first letters of those three spells Adam. Adam, because all those three were here to fix Adam Harishon's sin, right? Adam didn't fight evil. He went to hide after the sin, right? We don't hide anymore. We have to fight. That's the Jew of redemption, meaning after exile, is not a Jew that hides, a Jew that fights against evil and is not afraid to step up and stand for himself. Like people say after the Holocaust, never again. But that's only going to never again if we're able to stand for ourselves. Then after, if you go through look through Jewish history, now you have great leaders like Dvorah, right? Dvorah was a woman of war. She went to fight. You have Gideon, Shimshon, Shaul. You have Eliyahu Hanavi. Eliyahu Hanavi is so famous. He was fighting for the Jewish people all the time, trying to protect them and fighting evil. You have Esther and Mordechai. You have the Hashmonaim, the Maccabees, Rabbi Akiva, who was part of the rebellion of Bar Kokhba. That's why he was killed, that way he was killed, because not afraid to study Torah, facing the authorities. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, the only reason Rabbi Shimon became Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, one of the main reasons is because he was ready to fight against the Romans and all that, and that's why they wanted to kill him. He had to hide in a cave, and that's where he wrote the Zohar. So in a way, the greatest teaching of Kabbalah was given from a man who was fighting for his people, was fighting against the evil that was imposed. And you have many other rabbis throughout history, but those are the main ones. And the last one will be Moshiach, of course. One of the last rabbis that I really like, that represents a bit the warrior, is Rav Kook, or Avraham Kook. So Avraham's reminds us of the first Avraham, and he really, you teach, but you fight. You fight against evil. You fight to keep Israel safe and all that. The last one will be Moshiach, and that will be Moshiach. It represents all the Jewish people. But I want to conclude with the idea that what are the two festivals that were done by the Jews that became festivals thanks to the Jews is Hanukkah and Purim, right? All the others come from Hashem that told us to do it. But Hanukkah and Purim are two festivals that it says will celebrate even after Moshiach comes. That'll be the only one left. Why? Because those are the ones where the Jews stood up and were fighting. We were fighting those wars with our swords or whatever it was. Spears at the time. The Kohanim, by the Hashmonaim, right, by the time of Hanukkah, we were fighting. We went to fight, and we won because of that desire to fight, even though we were a small army. Same thing with Mordechai and Esther, were two people, and they were not popular, right? Mordechai was not popular to stand up against Esav's descendant, Amalek, Haman, and Achashverosh. But they stood up and they went into politics, so to speak, into the kingdom and tried to fight for themselves. And the Jews say they were fighting after, like it says in the Megillah. So this is the real people, real Jewish people, proactive. Being a light into the nation is not being just quick. Softly quiet and meditating and just being nice and it's all about love, all that. It's fighting actively evil. And this is something that is still missing today. The army of Moshiach eventually will rise up, and the real warriors, the real Jews will stand up and fight with Moshiach. We should start before, of course, but and the nations of the world also, who are real warriors and real righteous people, will stand up and fight the evil in the world. So that's, I think, important to understand what a real Jew is supposed to be. A real Jew should know Krav Maga. He should know he has weapons. He should be ready to defend himself and attack evil and take care of what's destructive. So may we strengthen ourselves, be proud Jews, and not afraid. Be nice, loving, sensitive, peaceful, but destroy evil when it needs to be destroyed. Obviously, we can not yet go on our own. There needs to be an army that goes all over the world and destroys, the evil, like the mafia, the trafficking, the drugs, the whatever it is out there that destroys people, all the abuse, and God willing, we will. That's when we'll truly become the light into the nation, and that's when we will be able to reveal God's ultimate glory all over the world, and the Jews will have fulfilled finally their mission. So may it be very soon, and may we not forget what a real Jew or a real human being is, a real leader, someone who loves its people and fight against the evil, so that his people can prosper and get close to God and love each other in peace.